Hello, Internet. Welcome to something new. We're going to be playing There Was a Stranger at the Door. Found this game on itch.io, and it was a free game. There will be a link in the description down below if you're interested in checking it out. As far as I know, it is a visual novel, and there is a warning at the beginning of the game that says, hey, this contains graphic content, including things like murder. So, just be aware of that as we head forward. And start the game. There was a stranger at the door. I was up in my room scrolling through my feed when the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. My parents were out for their anniversary. My friends always texted me before they dropped by, and it was late, too late for anyone to be visiting. Who could it be now? Who could it be? All right, probably a mistake, or my mind went somewhere dark. No. This was a safe neighborhood. I was only being paranoid. Doorbell rang again. Yeah, even in a safe neighborhood, honestly, if I lived by myself, I just wouldn't ever answer the door. Like, ever. Just because. Pretend I'm not home or check the door. No, you're not home. Just ignore them. I pulled my covers over my head. They'd get tired eventually and leave, unless they broke down the door. No. That was the paranoia talking. Whoever it was would just leave and find some other house to murder. Right? I waited in silence, trying my best to hear what was happening on my porch. Strangely enough, I heard nothing. No wind, no leaves rustling, no cars passing in the distance. There was no movement anywhere. It was like the entire night was holding its breath, waiting. The doorbell rang again, and my heart started racing. They would leave. I just had to stay still and wait. They would leave. The doorbell didn't ring again. I waited in the darkness, unable to tell how much time had passed. Thought about pulling the covers down when I heard it, tapping against my window. You got some balls to tap on my window, brah. Chill crept up my spine. There was something there, and it was looking at me. I could feel it even through the covers. I didn't look. I prayed to every god and deity I'd ever known and waited. Time stretched. I had no idea how long I stayed there unmoving. Could have been minutes, could have been hours. Eventually the tapping stopped and I felt lighter, like whatever it was had left. I didn't take the covers off until morning. I fell asleep a little after the sun came up and woke up to the sound of sirens. I wondered if it had anything to do with the stranger ringing my doorbell last night, or the tapping. Soon enough I learned the reason behind the sirens. My neighbor Betty was dead. Her parents found her on the living room. What? Parents found... In the living room with a smile on her face and two little marks on her neck. It's a vampire! And I hated myself for feeling thankful that it hadn't been me. Oh. Okay, so we won, I guess, because we didn't answer the door. Okay, well that's boring. Start the game. Yes, stranger. Doorbell, ding dong. Wasn't expecting. Yes. Okay. We'll answer the door this time, obviously, because we're 3 minutes into the episode. No, safe neighborhood, I was only being paranoid. So it's a vampire. That's kind of a sad thing to reveal, actually, because obviously some people are going to pretend I'm not home, and now we all know what it is. Go check the door, of course. I put my phone in my pocket and got up to answer the door. I looked through the peephole. Hey, bruh. There's a guy outside with raven black hair and pale skin, and he sparkled in the sunlight. No, I'm just kidding. Click. Go back to my room and pray he didn't notice me. No, who is it? Oh, he looked at me. The guy turned his head and stared at the peephole. He smiled. Hi, my name is Alden. Is it supposed to be Aiden? My family and I just moved here. My car broke down and my phone is dead. Could I borrow yours to call them? I promise it won't take long. Open. Sure. You look like a trustworthy non-murderess. Obviously, in real life, if someone shows up at your doorstep, I would not open the door. I would tell them I'll call someone for them. I wouldn't open the door to a stranger, especially at night, alone in a house. You should ask someone else. Maybe he's telling the truth, but I couldn't risk it. Sorry, I can't help you. You should try another house. Oh, he looks sad. Oh. Please, it will only take a minute. Sorry, good luck with your car. Wait. I went back to my room. I admit I felt a tad guilty for leaving him like that, but I didn't regret it. Part of me was still scared. I sit under the covers and pulled them up over my head. I tried forgetting about him and falling asleep. I closed my eyes and calmed my fast-beating heart. I was almost drifting off when I heard it, tapping against my window. Chill crept up my spine. There was something there and it was looking at me. Okay, so we're just going to go through the same... Yeah, okay. And then she dies. Okay, well, I guess I have to open... I should start saving. Okay, well, I'll edit this out. We're just going to jump to the peephole again. Alright, we'll open the door here for Alden and or Aiden here. Aiden was the name of the vampire from, what's that show called? Being Human. I actually like that show. I had a crush on the girl who played the ghost. Very pretty. And I like Sam, who played the werewolf? I like him a lot as an actor. He doesn't get much work, but just a moment. I opened the door and handed him the phone. So we still haven't invited him in, which I think is the crucial bit. Let's save again, just so we don't have to keep backtracking. Thank you, says Alden. He dialed a number and smiled at me while he waited. Someone picked up on the other end. Hey, sister, glad you picked up. It's dead. I know you told me to charge it. You don't have to rub it in my face. Uh-huh. I know. My car broke down. Yeah, so can you pick me up? We can call a tow truck in the morning. The address? Hold on. Can you tell me the address here? 425 Oak Street. Thanks. 425 Oak Street. Yeah, inside the gates. I know I got lost. I think so. Don't worry, everything will be alright. Just come pick me up. Okay, I'll be waiting. He handed me back the phone. Thank you. You're welcome. It'd be too much if I asked to wait inside. See, bruh, I already know you're a vampire. I don't want to invite you inside. Now, that was crossing a line. I opened the door against my paranoia to help him. He was helped. End of conversation. I was not letting a stranger in. Please? It's cold, and my sister will probably take a bit to get here. I wanted to tell him no and close the door. I wanted to, but there was something in the way he was looking at me that made me think it was okay. The more I looked into his eyes, the more convinced I became that letting him inside was the right thing to do. It was dark and cold. She would take a while, and he seemed nice. He'd been polite the whole time. Surely this would be no problem in inviting him in. Okay. Come on in, bruh. Let him in. So I let him in. He smiled at me as we made our way to the living room. There was something alluring about him. I couldn't stop staring. It was like everything else had vanished until there was just us. There was some conversation going on between us, but I couldn't really focus on it. I answered everything he asked as if I were in a trance. Then he leaned in, and I let him. I wanted him, but he didn't reach for my lips. Instead, he made his way to my neck, and I felt a small pain, almost like a sting. Then something else, a lightness, a numbness. It was inebriating. It was almost disappointing when he pulled away. His red lips were the last thing I saw, so he died. Okay. This has been not great so far. Load the game. Because it's obviously extremely linear. Normally, if you have a visual novel or whatever, there are branching paths, but so far it seems like every time we choose the wrong thing, we just get booted to the menu, which I don't love. Don't let him in. I hesitated. His face changed. I could only catch a glimpse of it, but it was enough to make my stomach turn. Whatever caused the change in the atmosphere was gone as fast as it came. I wondered if I had imagined it, but a sense of wariness was still in my mind. I'm sorry, I can't let you inside. Good luck. Tried to close the door, but he put his foot to stop it. You're not allowed to cross the threshold, vampire. He smirked. Oh, but you've already invited me in, don't you remember? I tried to hold the door, but he was stronger. I pushed it and begged it to close, but it wouldn't budge. He grabbed the side of the door and yanked it open. I stumbled backwards. I had to get away. He walked in slowly. A chill came up my spine, lifting the hairs of my arms. I had to run. I needed to run. Even if he caught up with me, I had to try. Maybe I could slow him down. There had to be a way to survive. A desperate idea came to mind. Okay, save. No, save. Okay. Oh, there's a timer. Just run. It would be faster to just run. I sprinted towards the kitchen, but he grabbed me by the arm. I tried to pull away, but he was stronger. Tried to kick him, to punch him, but nothing worked. I couldn't beat him, but maybe I could still be helped. If I screamed, surely someone would hear me. His other hand covered my mouth before I could even open it. Now don't go ruining this. If more people come here, I might have to do something that I won't like. I struggled in his grip. I used my free hand to try and push him away, to try and remove his hand from my mouth, but none of it worked. I scratched his hands and his arms, but nothing seemed to bother him. He held me tightly and bit my neck. I kept hitting him until my vision became blurry, and I didn't have the strength to fight anymore. And the end. Okay, it's a little too abrupt with the endings. Okay, knock things over to slow him down. I sprinted towards the kitchen, dropping things behind me, a lamp, a chair, whatever I could. Finally, I reached the kitchen and locked the door behind me. My breathing was heavy, and I had no time to calm myself. I wasn't safe yet. I heard clapping on the other side of the door. I'll give you an A for effort. He was enjoying this. I got the feeling that he could have stopped me if he wanted to, but he didn't, the sadistic bastard. The door handle turned, but the door didn't open. Very well, A+ for effort. Would the door be able to hold him back? I wasn't going to count on it. I had to leave. Luckily, there was a back door in the kitchen that led outside. This is like the third time that they used the word on instead of in. I opened it and was ready to run, though a thought came to my mind. What if he caught me? Okay, save again because every mistake seems to be the end of the game. Grab a knife. I opened the drawer, but the knife wasn't there. Why wasn't the knife there? I looked around and spotted it on the sink. Also, I think in the sink is probably another one. When I ran toward it, the kitchen door burst open. I grabbed the knife and turned to leave, but he was already blocking the way out. He smiled sinisterly. Sinisterly. My heart was beating so loud I could feel it in my ears. I was cornered. I strengthened my grip on the knife. If I was going down, I was going down swinging. I charged at him, hoping to hurt him enough to get away, but he held my arm and twisted it, making me drop the knife. He pulled me close, wrapping an arm around me and using the other one to cover my mouth. Struggled to get away, but he was stronger, like trying to fight a metal structure. Honestly, I'm disappointed. His breath tickled my neck, sending shivers down my spine. After all that show, I thought you'd be more of a challenge. I guess I was wrong. I felt him shrugging behind me. Well, whatever, there's always next time. Sharp pain in my neck. I'm dead. Everything went black. Yeah, okay. So, run was the wrong decision, and now run is the right decision. Oh, good, I oversaved our save. Well, great. Yes, great. Just, no, don't just run. Slow him down. So I'm not super thrilled with the game so far. Just run. I got out, locked the back door behind me, and ran. I ran and ran until my legs hurt and my lungs burned, and I kept running. I couldn't feel my feet anymore. I was going towards a house, any house, when I bumped into someone. I thought it was over. He'd caught me. But then I looked up and saw a girl with raven black hair and pale skin. She looked worried. Yeah, it's his sister. What's up? What happened? Are you okay? I was relieved, but I wasn't safe. Not yet. He was still somewhere in the dark looking for me. Let's save. Let's go back to the first save. We need to leave to get somewhere safe. Now that I had finally stopped, I remembered the phone in my pocket. I could call the police. I picked it up and was about to dial when I heard his voice. There you are. I see you've met my sister. Lovely, isn't she? Sister? Was she in on this? Of course she is. They're vampires, sister. When I looked at her, she was staring at him. I couldn't tell what she was thinking. Started dialing, but he stopped me before I could make the call. Your fighting was cute, but now it's just annoying. He held both my arms. I tried kicking him, but he didn't seem to feel anything. Was I that weak? I thought about giving up. There was no way I could beat this monster, so why bother? My body didn't seem like it would be able to help me for much longer, but I kept fighting. I wasn't going to make this easy. He looked annoyed as he pulled me closer to him. I kept struggling. Kane, stop. I thought his name was Alden. Fake name. He turned to look at her while still holding me tightly. For some reason, her words made me stop too. Is this too dark for you, sister? Do you feel sorry for the poor girl? She remained expressionless. I mean, she appears to be smiling slightly. I do like dark-haired ladies. Hello. What's your name? It's our first day here. We can't call attention like that. Oh, come on. It's just one girl. I'm hungry. We wouldn't have to move so much if you didn't kill or kidnap everyone whenever you felt hungry. What? And what do you suggest we do? Erase her memories and put her back in bed. What about my hunger? I suppose blood bags won't suffice. No, they won't. I need it fresh. Then go hunt somewhere else, somewhere not so close to our new home. And be discreet. Don't go running around letting them run in the dark. You're lucky she bumped into me and not someone else. Oh, sister, you underestimate me. I knew exactly where she was and who she was going to bump into. Yeah, right. It's all just a game to you. You know me too well. I'm just gonna do that voice from now on because it's ridiculous. Mabel, dear. No, I'm just kidding. But since you have made a valid point, I'll let you deal with this one and find myself a new prey. Your name's Mabel, huh? That's probably really considered an old name. I bet they're like 300 years old and they look all 17. He released me and disappeared in the night. I mean, I guess they kind of look like they might be. It's so hard to tell with such a minimalist drawing. They could be like 20. You know, I don't know. He released me and disappeared in the night. I dropped to my knees. I wanted to run, but my body was too weak. I couldn't even stand on my own. That was his sick tactic, to hunt me until I couldn't run anymore. She approached me. She looks kind of sad now. Did she look sad before? I'm sorry. Truly, I wish I could control him, but I can't. That was the best I could do. But don't worry, you won't remember any of this tomorrow. She elongated her last words, like it was some sort of spell. You're tired. You should sleep. Her eyes are red? Were they red a moment ago? Soon there was only darkness. I woke up in my bed feeling sore. My body felt heavy, like I had overworked myself. It was weird. I didn't remember doing any physical activity lately. When I got up, I noticed some bruises on my legs and feet. What the hell had happened last night? How was I able to injure myself like that? Was I sleepwalking? That had never happened before. I told my parents once they came home, but they didn't think much of it. They told me it was probably nothing, but that I should lock my bedroom door before sleeping just to be sure, and to tell them if anything similar happened again. I really wasn't content with that explanation. It felt wrong for some reason, but what else could it have been? Every night I felt uneasy. Weirdly enough, I wasn't afraid to fall asleep. It was just this awful feeling like there was something outside in the shadows watching me, waiting, and one night it would finally come for me. That's it. Thank you for playing. Sure. Okay. That's, I'm struggling to formulate my words. So if you're not familiar with itch.io, itch.io, I say itch.io is a place where lots of indie developers, a lot of them are like single-person teams, will make games and put them up. This game was free there. And I think it's a higher quality than a lot of the games I play with the kind of, I like the art style of it. Obviously, they used a lot of free for commercial use music, which is what the credits were showing there. It's a little bit minimalistic. There was really only one path. Anytime you made a wrong decision, it booted you to the credits with very similar dialogue for each failure. I would have liked just a little bit more description. I would have liked more art. Like the beginning of this game announces like, oh, this is a very mature game with depictions of murder and whatever. And I was like, okay, we're gonna see some gore and stuff. I might have to censor part of the video. And then it turned out to be like just cutouts of characters. Like it's just like a paper doll cutout. There's no graphic art. There's no graphic descriptions. There's really nothing about this that screams violence or murder or anything like that. I guess technically our character is dying, but we're dying in a pretty relaxed way. We're getting bit by a vampire that we wanted to bite us, and then it just kind of sinks into blackness and we die. So I'm a little bit... I thought there would be more to it. It was definitely shorter than I expected, and it wasn't really the spookiness that I expected. I imagine it could be very scary if you were someone who has ever been home invaded, or, you know, when I was reading the descriptions about like the guy grabbing me and putting his hands over my mouth and stuff, I could see how that would trigger some people who maybe have been in situations where they've been assaulted before or something like that. But for me, this was not particularly scary. And I think that's probably going to do it. Oh, that opens a browser explaining basically nothing. Okay. yeah, I thought it would be longer. I thought it would be different. Nothing wrong with it, though. There's a link in the description if you would like to play it for yourself or support the developer or anything like that. Check it out. I, of course, will be back with some other content in the near future. For now, I think that's a wrap on this episode. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Hopefully you've been enjoying October, where we've been trying to play some of these spooky games. And, yeah, I'll be back with something else in the near future. So for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.